Hello people, or should I say ponies? Because if you're watching this video, you're either my mum, one of my friends I've threatened into watching this, or maybe you actually like My Little Pony and probably have a pony persona of your own. I am back with the second My Little Pony video totally quickly, and it definitely did not take me a whole year to make another video. Anyways, I'm attacking two fandoms today with this video because, as you can tell from the title, I've drawn the main Yellowjackets characters as ponies. Woo! I have my dear friend Charlie to thank for this idea, because while she's not a My Little Pony fan, she is a fan of Yellowjackets, and she knows I like ponies, so she's the inspiration behind this video. Charlie, thank you for telling me to draw the girls as ponies, much appreciated. So if there's anyone here actually for the ponies but doesn't know what Yellowjackets is, I'll quickly say it's a TV series about a girls' soccer team whose plane crashes in the wilderness. They need to survive, and it's also culty and gay and a little bit cannibalistic. Okay, maybe more than a little. Anyway, the show follows these characters as they try to survive in the wilderness as teenagers, while also having a split plot where some of the show is the adult timeline, following the life of the girls after they were rescued. But we don't find out until later everyone who's been rescued, and even though technically people are saying we know everyone now, I'm still holding out hope that more of the girls are alive, but they're not, let's be real. Right, so in this video I'm mostly tackling the main characters who have frequent screen time, like Nat, Van, Misty, Shauna, Ty and Lottie. I recognise that characters like Akila or Melissa are bigger characters now, but there's only so many ponies I can draw at once. I also didn't do any of the guys, but I'm sure I'll give them a go at a later date. And also to clarify, if it's not obvious, spoiler warnings ahead, I am quite sure. I chose the main girls like I stated, and they're all known survivors, which makes it better for me because I have more understanding of their personality and character growth. These designs are going to reflect the teenagers pretty much in the most recent season, which if anyone watches this in a couple of years when we have more content, is season 3. So it's not meant to follow the adult timeline, but their current teenager timeline instead. I did this because I wanted to draw their teenage versions rather than their adult ones, because I felt like I could be more creative. But also, some of them are dead now as adults, and I didn't really feel like drawing skeletons. Rip Nat and Van forever in our hearts. Okay, coming in first, I'm going to probably do these in what I remember to be chronological order, and I know I started with Nat first, so she's up. I did some initial sketching for her concept before I started my proper sketch, and one of the first things I thought about was her cutie mark. I wanted the girls' cutie marks to represent their roles, but also be something that could actually be a cutie mark. Like, I wanted them to seem like actual talents that relate to their personality. So with Nat, I decided I wanted to make her cutie mark story a bit more interesting, in that she's a blank flank when they crash in the wilderness. To anyone who doesn't know, a blank flank is like a late bloomer for ponies who hasn't gotten their cutie mark when most ponies their age have. So I wanted that to be something she struggled with, and finally, when she hunted, she gained her cutie mark as a talent for hunting. I thought this represented her well because of her trauma with the wilderness. I know all of them are traumatized by that experience, Shauna, but Nat to me always seemed the most affected. Also, because of her struggle with alcoholism and addiction in the adult timeline, I decided having her cutie mark as a gun would be difficult for her, because she waited so long for her talent, just for it to come in the worst circumstances. And when she's rescued, she sees it as a constant reminder of this life experience, proving that she truly can't get away from what she went through. But I also brought some leaves and this little shoot of green to symbolize her nature, in that she's connected to the land in a different way, like the light shining through the darkness sort of thing. And also because she's about to save everyone and risks it all to get rescued, I see this as a symbolism of life. And it shows how she saves the other girls' lives. Or at least we think so. We'll have to wait for the next season for that to officially be confirmed, but it's pretty much fact. I made Nat a unicorn mostly because it would make the most sense for her to be able to wield a gun, but also because I really like unicorns and I really like Nat. So, case solved. I went through a couple other colour palette ideas for Nat. My original idea was red, but then I second guessed it and tried a few different vibes, but ended up going back to red because I felt like it fit her fiery personality. Something I want to point out is the colour palettes of the ponies. I didn't want them to just be like their hair colour, I wanted them to actually look like they could exist in My Little Pony. So I chose colours I think represent them well, but I tried to keep their hair tones and styles similar enough so that they're recognisable. Which is why I did this hair blend with Nat. Her roots are growing out just like in the show, so her pony dyes her hair too. I also gave her a bandana to wear on her head as an accessory, and it's similar to the one in the show. I also felt like she was a bit plain at the end, so I added some dark vein-like lines which represent little branches with some light buds or flowers growing on them to fit more into the nature theme of her cutie mark. And as for eye colours, I made them pretty much stay consistent with the eye colours of the actresses in Yellowjackets. I'm not going to lie, Nat's vibe was a bit difficult, but it was the first one I did and was a bit of a warm-up. So yeah, that is Nat. Woo! Up next is Lottie, my beloved. I found her design so easy to think about, and she is of course a unicorn. Lottie to me gives unicorn vibes the most out of anyone, but that might just be because she's tall and I view unicorns as kind of thin and lanky. I decided that she had an empty crystal ball as her cutie mark prior to the wilderness, but after her time there, the symbol in Yellowjackets slowly started to appear within it, and now it's a permanent feature of her cutie mark. I gave her the accessory from The Doom Coming because my friend Charlie asked me to, and it looks cute, so I went with a simplified version of it. Lottie obviously is purple. I did not need to think about that one at all. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's a cult thing, so don't worry about it, okay? I don't really have anything else to say about her other than that I love her design a lot, so I'm quite happy with how she turned out. After Lottie, I moved on to Van. I made her an earth pony, and her cutie mark is a broken record with smoke and music notes spiraling out. I don't know, I feel like that speaks for itself. Van was pretty simple to me. Obviously, she's orange coloured, she's a ginger, and I love doing orange ponies, so it's a win-win. I gave her some different shades to break it up a bit and made her hair half pulled back. But she's pretty simple, but I like that for her character, so that's her finished design. Next was Ty. Look, I'm not even going to lie, I struggled so much with her. I could not picture a colour that I associated with her, like, at all. They either all looked too bold for her personality or too dull. I went through so many different colour palettes, as you can see, and none of them hit properly. In the end, I decided to go with a dusty American flag colour scheme. I just kind of thought she becomes a politician, so I could make it a bit patriotic, but in this old, dusty sort of way where it's like, yeah, I'm the colours of America, but in a faded way that shows her disconnect from American culture. Look, she's a gay icon. I couldn't have her repping that flag fully, so I went with a grey and white palette with pops of that colour. My mum actually helped me out with that idea. Thank you, Mother. Here's your shout out. Ty's cutie mark is a podium, obviously because of speeches and debates, with this blue colouring and these wings popping out to show her leadership, and then there's the leaves on the side because I thought it looked cool. I made Ty a Pegasus because I picture Pegasi to be really influential, like she can fly around and get stuff done. I also gave her some little stars in her fur too. Anyway, designing her was a whole mess and I nearly wanted to cry by the end of it, but I think her final look is actually pretty good. So next is Shauna. You can't see my notes, but she has the annoyed side-eye emoji next to her right now. Look, I was once a Shauna apologist, but since season 3, I am no longer a Shauna apologist. Yeah, okay, she's a complex character, I understand that. She's been through arguably the most trauma in the wilderness and she did not cope with it well. However, she is insane, and I do not like her. She is crazy, and not in a cute, Lottie crazy way. I mean, genuinely, what the hell is wrong with this girl? Please stop being you. Leave everyone else alone. Go lock yourself in a hut. Kinda crazy. Anyways, so I gave her a smiling expression unlike most of the others because she actually likes the position of power she's in while they're stuck in the wilderness. And I thought like a bitchy little smile worked for her character. I made her cutie mark a knife because she's a butcher, obviously. How does that relate to not being a murder-loving psycho in her adult timeline? I don't know, maybe she likes cooking, don't ask me. Anyways, then I had some fire coming out of it because she dragged herself up from the pits of hell. Just kidding, again, it's a cooking theme. But I also made it spread down her leg because it looked neat. I don't know. I made her an earth pony because I didn't want to give her anything special because she sucks. As for her colour palette, I also struggled with her. I initially wanted to give her heavy nature vibes because if she loves that damn wilderness so much, she can become it. But I also didn't want to make her brown because that felt like a cop-out. So I tried a few different green colours, but she kept looking like Shrek. And then I did an all red, but it didn't have enough contrast. So then I pivoted back to green, but gave her some red highlights, and honestly, I could have given her design some more love, but I worked on her colours for ages and I had no more love to give her. What happened to my sweet doe-eyed Shauna from season 1? I don't know, but she's gone. Anyway, I gave her a little flannel cuff on her wrist, because if you know Yellowjackets, you know her plaid flannel. Last but absolutely not least, I saved her for the end because she is my special lady, Misty. Oh, Misty, how I love you. I enjoyed making her design so much. She is by far my favourite character that I designed. So, Misty is a Pegasus because she's cutesy and she slays. And I gave her a smile because she deserved to be happy. Look, I know what she did. But also, I feel like she's made up for it. And she's Misty, so, you know, it adds to her depth. She's adorable. I gave her this little shirt collar with a cat on it because that's really cute. And I made her cutie mark some medical tape rolling out with a heartbeat line going through it. I added some health symbols and some hearts and band-aids, and there we go. She's the healer in the wilderness, and then we know her job in the adult timeline, so it made sense to me to give her a medical-related cutie mark. As for her colours, of course she's pink. Like, how could she not be pink? She's a pink girly through and through. I made the rest of the colours just some nice pastels that work with her vibe, and of course I gave her some glasses because she's so blind. And that's Misty. She is my favourite and I love her so much. Alright, so those are my pony versions of the main Yellowjackets girls. I did want to design Jackie, so I might do that in another video, even though she's so dead. I just really like her, but I don't buy that mean girl shit that people try and throw on her. Like, come on. Shauna was sleeping with her boyfriend. She had a very reasonable crash out on that. I am a Jackie apologist for life, okay? Hopefully, you guys agree with my pony designs. If you don't, let me know what colours you might have chosen. I'd be interested to see because the colour picking process for some of them wasn't very clear. However, I think I did a good job in the end. I'm really happy with Lottie and Misty's designs, and I like the others as well. So that's me signing off. Hopefully it doesn't take me another entire year to tackle another art video. I did do some initial concepts of next-gen ponies a couple weeks ago, the children of the main 6, so maybe they'll have a video of their own at some point. Okay, thank you to anyone who watched. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!